Welcome. My name is Joey O'Connor with the Grove Center for the Arts and Media. And today I've got a very special guest, Lauren Harrington with the Deum Dance Company. She's got a really exciting project coming up this summer, and you're going to learn a lot more about it. I really hope you'll support her efforts. But first off, let's get to know Lauren better. Lauren, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Well, we're really excited to have you as a creative funding grant recipient with the Grove. And it's not just you, it's you and your whole dance team that's going to be going over to Europe this summer. We'll be talking a little bit about that. But before we do, tell us a little bit about yourself and your background. How'd you get involved in dance?
Well, I started dancing when I was in third grade, and now I'm 24. So it's been a pretty long time that I've been dancing. My mom put me in it because that was something that she wanted to do when she was younger, but she never did. And so from there, I enjoyed it and I kept doing it. And then when it came time to try and pick your careers, dancing and missions were the only two things that I could see myself doing all the time. So I became a professional dancer for a Christian dance company.
That's great. You know, I know a number of dancers, and dance is such a beautiful way in so many different aspects to communicate the truth and the beauty, the goodness of God. So much is communicated through, I would say, your bodies as you dance, because I'm not a good dancer, kind of like a moving train wreck, but I really appreciate the discipline and the focus and just the beauty of what dancers bring to this world. And so tell me, how did you get connected with the Deum Dance Company in Texas?
Well, I was going to school for a bit at a university called Belhaven University. And from there, Randy, our artistic director, he came and he set some choreography. So I didn't work with him personally, but I started hearing about Deum and seeing their work. And I decided to go to a summer dance intensive, and then went to another summer dance intensive. And I decided that I respected Randy a lot, and I respected him as a leader. And I was like, I could work for him. And then dance, and still Deum's very much so in the marketplace, which I like. I don't want to be secluded. And it's nice. It's a good company. So.
You know, what Randy's doing in Texas with Deum, as well as Cheryl Cutlip with Project Dance in New York, they're really two of the strongest companies out there in the nation that specifically integrate the beauty of dance with spirituality, of understanding who we are as Christians and how dance is integrated and really into our whole being. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because that's something that I think a lot of people in the church, and maybe people who don't go to church or don't understand the church, they don't understand that too much. So can you speak a little bit to that?
Yes. Well, recently for myself, I had the realization of how dance communicates the Lord, what the Lord communicates through dance. When I was listening to a gospel CD, a gospel music CD, and I heard such truth and such assuredness of what they were saying. And some of it's hard truth. I was like, oh, I received this. I can hear the Holy Spirit in their voice. And then a light bulb kind of went off for me. And I was like, that's when people watch us dance, and we are trying to communicate the Lord's perspective on life, whether that's through a hymnal, or if it's something that's just about the beauty of creation, then that's what people feel as they watch us dance as well. It was this huge aha moment, because I myself kind of have wondered. I know that it ministers to me, and I know that people come up and they share about, even stories of healing, but to put those pieces together was something recently that happened for me.
That's beautiful, because, art is, dance specifically, is such a powerful art form. And when you look at it from a theological perspective, this idea that that when we have a personal, intimate relationship with Christ and Christ lives in us, well, that's got to have some physical implications with how we present Christ to the world. And dance and the use of our bodies is certainly a means of that. Just as if someone were going to go to a soup kitchen and serve a meal to a homeless person with their hands. Dance is this presentation of our bodies of Christ in us. And so we could probably go on a long time talking about that, but that's one of the reasons why I love dance so much. Well, you've got an exciting trip coming up this summer with a group of people in your dance company. Tell us all about that.
Yes, there's 7 of us, and we're going to 4 different countries. 2 of them we have already been to, and 2 of them we have not. So I'll start with our team. We have 1 girl, she's from Switzerland, and 1 from Puerto Rico, and then the rest of us are spread out through the United States. And we're all located here in Houston, and we've been training for a year together to go on this trip. The first country that we're visiting is Spain. And Spain, I visited with Deum 2 summers back in summer of 2014. And it was extremely impactful and surprisingly impactful. I wasn't expecting for there to be such a great response. Just to the arts in general, people, even if it's not having to do with the Lord, just in general, they're more receptive and ready to watch, and they want to be there and watching you perform. So that was my first taste of like, oh wow, dance is received a little bit differently in Europe.
Yeah.
Even though it's still a valued thing in America, it's definitely received more so overseas, I feel. And then we're going as well to Hungary, which we went last summer. And then we have France and Scotland. So
wonderful. And on this trip, what are you hoping to accomplish? What are the groups you're going to be working with? What are the different venues you'll be dancing in?
Yes, each country is very specific. We're doing a lot of different things. So when we're in Spain, we will be doing prison ministry, which we've done in the past. And that was pretty incredible. You'd see all these men start to stand up at the end of the performance. And of course, the pastor's speaking in Spanish, and we have no idea what's going on. And then we find out, oh, this room full of prisoners, they just all dedicated their life to Christ. And that's like hundreds. So we will be visiting the prisons again. I will also be partnering with the Catholic Church in southern Spain. And but when we went there 2 years ago, the churches that we partnered with, they used us strategically for outreach. And then after we left, we found out weeks later that there's just a massive amount of growth in each of those churches that we had a street performance with. So I'm not sure what all they have on their radar for what we'll be doing with that Catholic ministry. But I know that we're booked solid. And something else that's kind of special about Spain is there's a professional flamenco singing group, and they send us their music, and then we choreograph to it. So not only do we get to present our works, but we also get to do live performances. And that's special because you're dancing in the language, and you're also dancing to the style of music that people enjoy. So that was Spain. And then in Hungary, we do a lot of work with the children's homes. We also just kind of spread awareness and offer conferences for different church groups about dance and like biblically how it fits in, and just the power of it, and encouraging their dance ministries, which I was surprised to. I was like, oh wow, they have dance ministries going on over here. And in France, prior to the terrorist attack, we knew we wanted to go to France. And then we found out Project Dance was taking place as well. So it's neat how the Lord had just made an impression that, okay, we should go to France. And then after that, Project Dance, which is an event that occurred that Cheryl started post 9/11 to bring hope and restoration and just encouragement to New York. And then from there, they have Project Dance events now all over the world throughout the year. And France is going to be their first time in France this upcoming summer.
Great, great.
Yeah, and then in Scotland, there's the Fringe Festival, and that's a great opportunity to, I mean, that specifically is a huge arts festival that people come to because they want to see art. And one of our Deum 2 members, not specifically, she's not going on the trip, but she worked in Scotland for several years. She connected us with Shine Ministry, and they do kind of the legwork of booking the busks, their streets, parts of the street where you can perform. So that's something also that I really enjoy about each one of these countries. We aren't just going by ourselves.
Right.
We aren't going just as 82, but we're partnering with individuals from those countries.
Right. I love that idea of just coming alongside the different prisons and churches and groups in the countries to come alongside and encourage and support what they're all doing. What do you hope to achieve? What's your greatest dream associated with this project?
My greatest dream, I guess, in kind of a self dream associated with this project, is that there be even more connections made and more opportunity for consistency in revisiting the same places of ministry, and that somehow over the course of years we would be able to, there could be a constant flow of people, even if they only commit to, say, working with the children's homes for 2 years, that there'd be a ministry that was constantly bringing dance, and as soon as those 2 years were up for an individual, we'd have someone else on the way, and that just there'd be even a greater amount of consistency, besides just coming back in the summers, which is wonderful. But I know that they're talking with other dancers. I know that I'm not the only one who has a heart for just like some long-term investment.
That's great. That's great. And a trip like this with 8 people going to 4 different countries, planes, trains, and automobiles. What do you think? What are some of the challenges that you'll be facing?
Well, thankfully, I feel like we are all on a very unified page. I know that over the course of 2 months, we'll start to wear on each other, but that's not, I mean, with a large group of women, that would be my first concern, but as of right now, it's just fine. I guess I don't really have any concerns, which maybe that's just ignorance, but when we went to Spain, everything, I mean, like, you have hiccups, the enemy doesn't want you there, but people tend to keep their head, and are stronger for it. I mean, there was one night in Spain where we went into Morocco and we came back, and we just had some intense spiritual attacks, and we spent the whole night praying. I mean, they were a spirit, so nothing with our physical bodies was in trouble, but we spent the whole night praying and we didn't sleep. And the next day we woke up and choreographed a dance that we found out that we needed to choreograph. So I just know that the Lord can overcome any of those issues, and also just the comfort of having individuals in each of those countries who they're doing a lot of the legwork as well. So I'm taking care of getting us there, and we're working together to make sure all of our hotels are in alignment and all of our tickets. But we have people overseas who we trust and who care about us and who are praying and who are working extremely hard for these trips. So I don't feel alone. Yeah.
Super. So tell me, what is the funding goal? What's the total block of money that you're looking to raise for the project?
We are looking to raise roughly $50,000. So Yes. That's kind of a large number.
Good, clean number. And
Yeah.
how can people are, I'll talk about it in a minute here, but people will be able to go to the Grove website and support what you're doing. But how can people contact you directly if they want to learn more about your dance company, more about Deum, more about the upcoming trip? I know that you've put a website together.
Yes, it is. Let's see. It's www.adeum2goestoeurope.com. And yeah, that's it. And it's pretty new, but there's a lot of great information on there, and specifically about each country as well, and specifically about each of the dancers. So, and more links to different media, Facebook and Instagram. So you could find, and again, also to the Grove. It will connect you there.
So people can follow you during the course of your trip, say on Instagram.
Right, and we're going to also live feed through Facebook.
Okay.
It has a new thing where you can just video like the performances and outreaches that are taking place, and it will go directly on to Facebook. So we're going to try to do that as well.
That's great. Well, and we will be putting a link on the Grove featured artist page for that website. And so to wrap up, let me just give a great encouragement to all of you who are listening. I've been speaking with Lauren for, gosh, probably 3 to 4 months now, and I know how hard she and her team are working for this trip this summer. So I really want to encourage you to be generous, whether generosity is if you can afford $10 or $100 or $1,000 to help them reach their goal of $50,000. They are going to do some marvelous things in those 4 different countries, going to Spain, into France and Hungary and Scotland this summer, really looking to share their lives with people through this incredible art form of dance. And so right on the Grove website, right here, you can click that PayPal link, you can make a donation. I really hope you support their efforts. We're so proud of what you're doing, and just the great step of faith that you're taking just to do this. It's wonderful, it's beautiful, and I know it's going to bring a smile to many people's faces. So Lauren, thank you so much for your time, and we're certainly going to be praying for a great trip. We're going to look to follow you on Facebook, on Instagram, and just hear all sorts of great reports of how the trip went.
Thank you so much.
Okay, you have a great day now.
Thanks, you too.